Hello, everyone, and welcome back to The Rundown, where we talk about 2A news and conservative views. I will be your host today, Craig DeLuz, coming at you from the West Coast, the left coast, behind the Iron Curtain, otherwise known as the Sierras. But as we all know, I do not do this program by myself.
That's right. My name is Mike Piworsky, coming to you live from the East Coast. That's the coast with the most from the co-host with the most here on The Rundown. 2A views, conservative news, and Craig, guess what day it is?
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
It's hump day.
Hump day!
It's hump day.
Hump day!
That's right, folks. Today is Hump Day. This is the day in which we attempt to begin the weekend, sometimes with success, sometimes not. But as we always like to say, the fun is all in the trying.
Yeah, it is. How's your success been today, Craig?
Well, seeing as how I am like remote, so I'm at a client's office. We have a studio set up here. So I'm in their studio and I'm like at the very last minute, I'm working to try and get everything set up and going. I have not begun the weekend yet. Not even close.
So I sat down here in the studio about a half hour ago and said, all right, let's see if I can look up the stories here that Craig sent me, and I'll send him a couple. And I'm like, where's my computer? Where's my speakers? Where's my camera? Where's my lights? Oh, still in that big black Pelican case we took to Vegas. so there was some lightning flash speed going on here in the last 20 minutes or so.
Well, you know what? I see that I see that you figured it out, though.
Yeah, the only thing I realized I forgot is I didn't put the old on-air sign back up over here.
Well, that means you're not on the air.
No, I'm not. So I don't think we've talked since we've been back from SHOT Show.
No, you know what? You know what is amazing? And I think someone made the comment about the whole blue light thing. It is amazing how we can be up all day and all night over there at SHOT, and then I get home, and I'm just like, 9 o'clock hits, man. I can barely keep my eyes open. So it took me a couple of days to recover.
Excellent cover story, sir. Is the family there?
No, they are not here at the Observer with me.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. See, that's one thing I never have to worry about is my family watching the work I do. So I can say whatever I want.
Well, you know, my son he doesn't watch. He listens on his way home from work. So we get the show done and I get it up to Apple Podcast. Literally, it almost hits just as he's on his way home. So, you know, he of course, I don't know if he'll snitch on me or not. Now that I've said something, he probably will.
Oh, we got to find out what team he's on, Team Dad or Team Mom. We got to find out pretty quick.
Look, my son is smart. He's a free agent. Look, wherever he can get the best deal, that's where he'll be.
Well, we'll see, because sometimes you could be standing outside with both of them thumbing their noses up at you. You want to play that game, huh?
See, that's the difference. See, because I know and I recognize that, and I don't just rely on the son's love of the father. My bribes are usually better.
There you go. So, biggest surprise at SHOT Show, and I didn't think it was going to have this kind of effect. Looking straight on here on camera, my hair looks a respectable length, doesn't it?
It does look a respectable length, but we all know it's not. So now, just so you know, Mike, and I'm just gonna let you know this, because you are of the Caucasian persuasion. Technically, it classifies as a mullet, but it is so curly. I'm tempted to just rule it to be a shag.
I believe the actual technical term is a Jewfro, is what I have. What's the actors from all the Judd Apatow movies? I've got that hair.
Wow.
I've got it. This is brushed down tight against the head for the show. Otherwise, it's out to here.
Wow. Well, there you go.
But it's just loose enough, Craig. It's just loose enough. If I put a pick in it, it falls out.
Good stuff.
To give you a little frame of reference. There you go.
Good stuff. All right. Well, hey, let's go ahead and get into the program. But before we do, let's give a quick shout out to our sponsors.
Yeah, let's say hi to our good friends at Hitman Industries. Had lunch with them today over at hitmanindustries.net. If you want to get yourself an AR barrel, this is the place to do it. Rifle length, rifle caliber, pistol caliber, anything you desire at hitmanindustries.net. California Republican Assembly fighting the good fight behind enemy lines. Now you can take part in California's future today. Make sure you check out the California 6th congressional race while you're there. Hog Holsters. Saw these guys while we were out at SHOT Show. That's HAWGholsters.com. Hogholsters.com. Use the discount code The Rundown. That's all one word, no spaces, all caps. Get yourself a nice little discount. And USCombatGear.com. They came by. We saw them at SHOT Show as well. You could get all the field gear you need minus the gun at USCombatGear.com.
Folks, once again, these are our sponsors. They bring us to you so that we can bring you to them. Do us a favor. Do them a favor. Do yourself a favor. Visit their websites. All you got to do is go to the links in the description of this program. Check them out. If you like what you see, spend some money with them, and make sure you tell them it was the guys over at The Rundown that sent you. Also, before we get going, I want to encourage you, if you haven't already done so, please make sure you like, share, subscribe, like, share, subscribe. We're doing a big push on Rumble. We need you guys to follow us on Rumble. So go to Rumble, check us out. It is the free speech place. It's the place to find all the cool free speech folks. You know, they're not going to censor us anyway. So Mike can say things like, COVID with a K is fake, and not get our channel deleted.
Or Old Sack.
Or Old Sack.
Which is where Craig's from, by the way.
I am not from Old Sack. I'm not from Old Sack. Mike just loves to talk about Old Sacks. That's all. That's just, it's a Mike.
You
thing.
got New Sack and Old Sack. You're from Old Sacramento, I thought.
I'm from North Sacramento, sir.
Oh, so you're from No Sack.
North Sacramento.
Oh, we just lost sound. Just lost your
Folks,
sound.
you see what I have to deal with this guy? This is what I get to deal with. Anyway, on that note, let's get on with our story, shall we? All right, we're going to start off here. This first story has to do with a group of protesters who, you remember the Summer of Love? Okay, so it wasn't the Summer of Love. It was the George Floyd Summer, and it was where there were protesters who were protesting throughout the country. They were tearing stuff up, right? It was it was horrible. They were tearing stuff up. They were, They were burning stuff down. They were assaulting officers, that. Well, as it turns out, they got away with a whole bunch of stuff, but not so much if you happen to be a pro-life protester. In particular, if you happen to be a protester who is protesting outside of an abortion clinic. Please forgive me because I'm trying to pull. Here we go. And why is that doing it? There we go. Okay, here we go. So these folks were basically praying outside of an abortion clinic, and as a result of their praying, they now face up to 11 years in prison. Let me pull the story up here real quick. All right, there it is. All right, let's see here. It says President Joe Biden's Justice Department, or Department of Justice, has not just been politicized and weaponized to go after his most likely rival in the 2024 election, former and potential future President Donald Trump, but also peaceful and prayerful pro-life activists. 6 pro-lifers were found guilty on Tuesday of violating the Freedom of Access to Clinic Entrances, or FACE Act, that could face 11 years in federal prison. Footage shared over X by Greg Price shows the activists gathered outside of the hallway outside of Carafem Health Center Clinic in Nashville, Tennessee on March 5th, 2021, where they prayed, sang hymns, and urged women to go through with having an abortion. And urged women to go through with or to not go through with having an abortion. I think that was a misprint. So here's them, and as you can see, they're basically just kind of sitting there. They're outside of an abortion clinic. They're being totally peaceful, and yet and still, they are facing a significant amount of time a significant amount of time in prison. And Mike, I guess what gets me about this whole thing is, um, on one hand, you have the mostly peaceful protests of the summer of 20 or the summer of love, but then on the other hand, you have this particular situation going on, and I'm like, how can you say that justice is blind or justice is equal when you see these two different disparities?
Yeah, Craig, I worked a lot of abortion clinic protests early on in my career, and one of the things that I recall is that you were not, whether you were pro or against, it didn't matter. You were not allowed to block access via the right of ways, and that's really what it was. It wasn't that they were, if they were on the property and blocking, well, that was trespassing. If they were in the county city right of way, they could be there to protest, but they could not block access. So under this FACE Act, though, they've made it a major felony, which is sentencing to 11 years in prison, as opposed to in every state where you have blocking public access, it's either a traffic ticket that you give to an individual or a misdemeanor, the lowest level misdemeanors you have. So what the President Biden and the DOJ have done is, once again, weaponized the DOJ against them by having the Democrats pass this law that applies the penalties you would normally see for very violent felonies to somebody sitting down and praying.
There was a protester who actually participated in the burning down of a police station who only 3 years, and they're looking at up to 11.
Well, you should not burn down police stations. That will get you 11 years. That's
well, but
I have no issue.
It only got them 3.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's not good. See, that's a disparity in sentences there. That's something that the courts will immediately put the kibosh on.
Right. I've been to and I've participated in some of these, and I'm not a believer in, once again, blocking the door. I am a believer in going. And it's more, the groups that I've worked with that have done this is more called sidewalk counseling. In other words, it's more encouraging women to giving them information about other options, about places that they can go, about places where they can get assistance, stuff like that, praying with them. And, that's mostly what it's been about. It's never been, at least the ones that I participated with, don't block the doors, don't get in people's way, don't yell at people or, make, the idea is to, lovingly encourage them to look at another option.
Correct. And they also, the pro-life crowd was not allowed to show the basically the procedure photos. Let's say that, because those photos had been declared as too upsetting for people to see.
Which is odd. I'm like, if it's a constitutional right, if it's something that they did, well, we now know it's not. But if you're going to declare that it's a constitutional right and you're going to fight to protect it, shouldn't you ought to at least be able to look at it if you're going to say that every person demands to be able to do this?
Well, it's just like the Supreme Court said with pornographic material. We'll know it when we see it. These photographs were designed to inflame the situation and make people become violent or do other hated things. So it was the act of using those photos to enrage people to commit other acts.
Well, the goal was not to enrage. It was just, when you have people who violently are interested in killing babies, they get mad when you reveal the truth about what they're trying to do.
I am, but I'm just trying to point out that the pro-lifers played by the rules, and they stopped using them when they told they could not use them anymore.
Exactly.
As opposed to the pro-killers, which don't have a problem continuing to kill.
Telling the lie.
Yep.
Anyway.
Yep.
So this next story, I'm actually kind of excited about this. I'm interested to see exactly how this goes. But Donald Trump is actually being nominated for a Nobel Peace Prize. Now, what for? Now, clearly it's not for anything that he's done very recently, but it is for one of the things that should, and quite frankly, to a certain degree, is having an impact on the world stage today. And that has to do with the Abraham Accords. You might recall that President Donald Trump was responsible for getting multiple Islamic nations or Muslim nations to recognize the right of Israel to exist. They're called the Abraham Accords. They were historic. He didn't just get one, he didn't just get two, he got three Muslim nations to recognize the right of Israel to exist. Never been done before. And yet you had Barack Obama, who won a Nobel Peace Prize because he was going to bring racial harmony to our nation. Now, not only did he not bring racial harmony to our nation, Mike, we've probably never been more racially divided than since he became president. But in this particular case, I got to think if you're going to give Barack Obama a Nobel Peace Prize for something you think he's going to do, I think you ought to give a Nobel Peace Prize for somebody who actually did something that no American president has been able, no world leader has been able to do.
Hold on, wait. Let me think about the other things he did peacefully. We entered in no wars. We left 2 other wars. I don't see where this guy was peaceful, Craig. You know, he kept the world at peace. He kept madmen from doing crazy things. I don't see where he's peaceful. I don't get it.
He did blow up a terrorist who effed around and found out.
That's right. And he cried like a dog. He cried like a dog. He did.
He cried like a dog.
This is I know what it is, Craig. The mean tweet. You can't have a Nobel Peace Prize if you have mean tweets.
Oh, well, there you go. See? No mean tweets. I forgot. Next time I will make sure to add that to the list of things. I guess that you go down the checklist, you're like, let's see, prevented war, got out of war, defended the innocent in the womb, got countries who were warring to actually sit down and talk. Can't forget, he also got North Korea and South Korea to sit down for the first time in decades. And
goodwill towards men.
Sorry, man, mean tweets. You don't qualify.
Mean tweets. You're out. You're out. Mean tweets. You're out. Yep.
Oh, it is sad. It is sad. But like I said, I'm excited. I'm hoping. Once again, I don't see how they can not at least consider him. Legitimately consider.
Well, who did the nomination? I'm curious who did the nomination because the nominating committee is vast and wide. Who can nominate?
It was Representative Tenney. Let's see here. I'll read a little bit of it for you. Says, just days after 3 American soldiers were killed by Iranian proxies, Representative Claudia Tenney, Republican from New York, nominated former President Trump for a Nobel Peace Prize, citing his historic Abraham Accords treaty. Now, I guess the reason why in particular this is relevant is keep in mind, those soldiers were attacked because these are all Iranian proxies that have decided they're going to attack. They're going to attack various different places, all to get back at us because Iran doesn't like us. So you've got Hezbollah, you've got what do they call them, the Houthis in the Red Sea, and now you've got these folks who are attacking a military base in Jordan, all as a way in which to get back at us. And they're using the excuse, well, you know, you need to if you don't get Israel to stop, then we're gonna continue to attack you.
Another year, just under a year, Craig. We should be out of this.
Just under a year. All right, moving right along to our next story. This was one that's actually kind of breaking news. It has to do with the California ammunition regulation. So they passed an ammunition regulation here in the state of California that requires what they call a background check here in the state of California in order to purchase firearms. The problem is that that's not actually, number one, that's not actually what it is. Here, let me read a little bit. Let me pull up the story here and I'll read it up for you. But anyway, so the background check, just so you know, the background check requirement has now been halted in the state of California. This is according to Reuters. It says that California cannot enforce a law requiring people to undergo background checks to buy ammunition because it violates a constitutional right to bear arms, a federal judge has ruled. In a decision made public Wednesday, that being today, U.S. District Judge Benitez, I hope you're doing the sign, Saint Benitez in San Diego said the background checks have no historical pedigree and violate the Second Amendment by treating all citizens as having no right to ammunition. And just so you know, Mike, they actually believe that. They believe that. Here's the thing. So anti-gunners believe you may have a right to own or possess a firearm, but you don't have a right to ammunition. You don't have a right to buy a firearm. You don't have a right to sell a firearm. You don't have a right to possess a firearm in any place they believe you should not be able to possess a firearm, which is everywhere. But anyway, this is another one by our good friend Saint Benitez, patron saint of gun owners. Once again, has delivered for the baby, sweet baby Jesus.
Thank you, sweet baby Jesus. 7 pounds, 8 ounces in your little tracksuit, just sitting there all ready to go. Listen, Judge St. Benitez, once again, just comes through, so I wonder if he's got these on his calendars, Craig, like, I'll do this one in January. I'll do this one in February. Because he's got it's like his brewing calendar. I'm going to do one a month until I die. It's going on. So yeah, this is breaking news out of California. Also out of California, if you saw it today, Craig, Second Amendment Foundation won a case in San Francisco. If you saw this, there was a ban on firearms in public housing. And Second Amendment Foundation got that one overturned. They got an injunction put in place, so there's no longer restrictions on whether or not you could keep a firearm in your home or not legally. You can't just say, "Oh, it's public housing. You can't stay here. You can't have it." So
exactly.
So that one also in California today. So good, 2 good stories there out of California.
Excellent. That is very, very good to hear. Now, Mike, I'm going to skip our last story because I'm realizing that I did not bring my power cord, and I'm really, really low on juice right now. So we're going to go straight to the parting shots, brought to you by Hog Holsters. Just go to hogholsters.com. Use the discount code The Rundown, all caps, no spaces. Get your Hog Holster today. Both of our parting shots are going to be brought to you by the Babylon Bee. The first, you'll love this one. California becomes the first state to ban heterosexual marriage. So that's actually a bad story that's coming out of California.
Yeah, there you go. Very true. Very true.
Yeah, so basically, if you're looking to marry someone of the opposite sex, although, to be quite honest, it actually has something to do with this next one, which kind of has to do with our first story. This also from the Babylon Bee. Gender is a social construct, but only women can have an opinion about abortion. But you can change your gender if you want, but oh wow, the room is spinning. Please send help.
Yep.